Welcome back to the Breathe series. This is Tara with Love Yoga, here with the Dear Jack Foundation to provide some yoga for treatments and side effects. And so this class is focused on yoga for neuropathy. First thing I'd like to say is that if you are dealing with neuropathy, it's very important to see a specialist first and of course know what your limitations are according to your doctor. This is a practice that can help you with some of the symptoms you might be feeling. There isn't any way that I can say it will heal you, but I can say that by bringing sensations into the fingers, into hands and the feet, especially when you may be experiencing numbness or even some pain there, this can help you to just feel better in general if you are experiencing neuropathy. So the neuropathy is mostly affecting our nervous system, and it's important to know that if we can learn to relax and reset the nervous system a little bit through yoga, through breath work, even meditation, it can really help. We're going to start with a breathing exercise and then move through some postures. And the whole time we're going to be very focused on dynamic movement. So that means movement as we breathe and also feeling the presence of our body, especially in the hands and the feet. So let's start with Samavriti breath. Close your eyes and you can reference the breathing video if you want to learn this more in depth. But we're just going to be cultivating equal length inhales and exhales. So you begin to tap into your breath first and just notice how you're feeling and perhaps come up with just one word right now. What is one word to describe your current state of being? It doesn't matter what it is and no judgment here. It can be anything. And then bring in an intention as to how you'd like to feel. And hold that in your heart, and we'll come back to that towards the end of class. So now we'll start to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. And let's start with the count of 4. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing with that breath, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 4. So as you're counting and inhaling and exhaling, this is comforting the mind so that your nervous system feels like it can relax. It's the first step of starting to work through neuropathy. You can extend the breath to a count of 5 if you'd like, or if this was feeling too difficult, you can go down to a count of 3 and just take 3 more breaths. And then we'll start to bring the palms together at heart center. And we've done this before. We're just going to move the palms together to create a little friction. I want you to see if you feel that, because sometimes there's numbness in the hands and we don't always feel what's going on. But as we stimulate prana, you may start to feel a little heat generating. And then we'll start to slow it down, coming back into Anjali Mudra. And we've done this in some of the other videos, but we really want to focus on feeling the fingers one at a time. So pinkies to ring, middle, index and thumb, back and forth. Just notice how your hands feel pressed together. Feel the heels of your hand. And then we'll start to work a little bit more with the hands. And if you have a tennis ball or any kind of ball, go ahead and grab that. And we're going to feel the tennis ball in the hand, just noticing how your fingers are touching it. Notice the texture. And then we're going to take it in one hand, it doesn't matter which one, and inhale, squeeze the tennis ball. Exhale, release, open the fingers. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. One more time, gather and release. We'll go ahead and take the fingertips around it and just circle the wrist. Maybe turn it upwards. And then we'll switch to the other side. So again, fingertips around the ball. Notice the sensations you're feeling, even if you aren't feeling any yet. See if you can feel the texture of the ball. And then we'll start by inhaling to squeeze. Exhale to release. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to keep this tennis ball close by because we are going to use it again. And we'll start to move into tabletop position. I like to keep a blanket underneath my knees, and that's just for some padding. You start to bring your hands down, and again, we're going to feel the fingertips. The main focus is what is going on in the areas that you're feeling a sense of discomfort or numbness. So starting with your pinkies pressing down, moving into the ring fingers, middle finger, index, and thumb, and then on backwards. And just notice which one of the fingers are you experiencing symptoms of the neuropathy. We're going to keep that sensation in the fingers and then start to just take a cat-cow, inhaling forward. Notice if anything shifts in the sensations in your hands, and exhaling to release. And then again, inhaling forward. And exhaling round the spine. One more time, notice if you're feeling the fingertips more or less than when you first put them down on the mat. Really press down and round the spine, stay here. Notice fingertips pressing into the mat, notice the heels of the hand. And then we'll come back to neutral. Now let's start to think about what's going on with the feet. We're going to come into toe stand, and so your toes start to spread, and you bring the pinky toe down to the mat as well as the big toe on both feet. And then it might feel a little intense to sit back, so we're just going to rock forward and back. But we want to bring the hands down completely. So as you rock forward, feel into the fingertips, feel the wrists, and as you exhale, sit back, press into the toes, stretch. Again, inhale, coming forward. And then exhale, sitting back. Now, if there's any pain, you do not have to come so far back, but you want to try to feel what's going on in your toes, making them spread a little bit. And then exhaling back. If it feels okay, you may stay back here. You may even crawl up so that you bring your spine up above your sit bones. And then this can get really intense, and we're stretching into the arches, stretching the feet, stretching the toes. Breathing. The Ujjayi breath will help you here. This is called fire toes, also known as toe stand, but inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Feel the constriction on the throat. And just notice here if you can cool off the toes with maybe a longer exhale. And then we'll start to rock forward, and we'll just knock the feet, trying to get some juices flowing, let the heat out of the toes. And we're going to come to standing now. So we just activated the feet a bit, And this is where we're gonna use the tennis ball again in just a moment. So you can bring it and set it in front of you. But we're gonna come into Tadasana, and I do cue this in our intro to yoga video, but I'm gonna spend some time here cueing us into this pose, into mountain pose, because it is important for us to feel the feet on the mat, rocking forward, rock into the toes, spread them, then rock back into the heels, maybe lift the toes. So we're doing this a little different, coming forward and back, and just noticing where you're not feeling anything. If you're numb or if you're feeling pain, breathe into it. And then we're gonna go side to side. So coming into the outer edge of the right foot, lifting the arch, and then going the opposite way to the left foot. So we're just kind of easing back and forth. Noticing where you're experiencing your neuropathy is key. And then we're gonna plant the feet really, really flat on the ground, lift the toes, spread them, and place them down one at a time. And then the arms radiate forward, lift the spine. We're going to stack the body gradually. So starting at the toes, close your eyes, find some stillness here. And we're gonna start with the ankles, moving up to the knees, the hips. Take a breath in. Exhale, send it down to your feet. And then start to feel how that lower part of your body maybe feels a little more stable than the upper part. We'll start to grow the spine long. Feel some lift in the chest. Shoulders shrug up on an inhale. Exhale, let them fall down your back. Reach up through the crown of your head and stack your head on top of your shoulders. You can twinkle the fingers here, get some movement in them. And take a nice inhale. Allow it to move up towards the crown of your head. And on your exhale, send the breath to your feet. Again, inhale, lift up to your crown and say, I am, to yourself. On your exhale, the breath moves down to your feet and say, grounded, secure. Again, inhale, lift, and say, I am. Exhale, send the breath down to your feet, grounded. One more inhale, I am. Exhale, grounded. Now from here, let's go ahead and move into chair pose and see how that changes everything. So we're gonna kind of move the knees forward, sit back, and then move the arms forward, reaching through the fingertips. The pelvis tucks under a bit, and then we sit back. So your feet may feel different on the mat than they did before. Reach forward, twinkle the fingers, feel the movement. Exhale, sit back into the heels, lift the toes. Place the toes back down. We'll take an inhale, press into both feet, arms come up. And then as we exhale, we're gonna just come down to a gentle forward fold for a moment. We're not gonna stay here long, just wiggle the shoulders, release the head, let the arms dangle, keep the knees bent for a moment. And then we'll start to come back up. Now, we're gonna start to roll the feet, and if you don't have a tennis ball, or if the tennis ball is too hard, you can make a roll with your socks. So I have my fancy unicorn socks. They stay magical, very important in life. And I'm gonna put these into a tight sock roll. So you can put that down if that's what you're using. I'm gonna use the tennis ball. And let's go ahead and start with the right foot. So the tennis ball goes under the heel to begin with, so it's directly heel is in line. And we're gonna start with some compression and then move into rolling. So as you inhale, you're gonna press down. You may lift up a little and then exhale, release. Inhale, press. Exhale, release. And just notice what you're feeling there. If there's pain, maybe try the sock roll because it's a little softer. And then we're gonna start to move the ball underneath this little divot in the ankle. It's called the sinus tarsal. So you're gonna inhale, press, and that may feel a little intense. It does for me because I've had an injury on this side. And then exhale, release. Again, inhale, press, and exhale, release. Then we move the ball over to the arch. I'm gonna give it a nice roll here. And this also can be intense, so gently as press down on the inhale and exhale, release. Again, discomfort's okay if you feel pain. Maybe try the sock, do something a little less intense. Inhale, press, exhale, release. And then we'll move towards our toe mound. So getting the ball just directly under the toe mound and maybe spreading the toes for a minute. Inhale, press. You may get a calf stretch and then exhale, release. Inhale, push, and exhale, release. Toes. A lot of numbness can happen in the toes, so let's see what you can feel. Can you grip the ball? It's very normal for this ball just to go like rolling off, and it's happened to me many times, but just give it a nice push with the toes, and then we roll the whole foot. So why are we doing this? With neuropathy, we often don't feel our feet. And so we do have 75,000 neuron receptors in it. We're gonna move to the other side. And we might not feel any of them because of the nervous system. We also have 33 joints in our feet. So we're just trying to see what we feel. Also will help you feel more grounded when you're walking or doing other exercise. So notice as you walk around after this, how you feel. So moving to the left heel, we're gonna press it down into the ball on the inhale, and then exhale, release it. Again, inhale, press. Exhale, let it go. Moving to the sinus tarsal, the divot by the ankle. The ball kind of comes off to the side a bit. Inhale, press. Exhale, let go. And again, inhale and exhale. Over to that arch, we're gonna roll for just a second, and then we'll start to move into pressing. Inhale, compress. Exhale, release. And noticing too, what is happening on this side versus the other side? Do you have more sensation, less? Noticing the different parts and what you're feeling, just connecting to your body. So then we move towards the toe mound, wrapping the toes around, spread them. Then we'll start to feel that calf stretch, press forward into the toe mound and inhale, and then exhale, let it go. Inhale, exhale. One more. Moving into our toes and trying to grip it. It's kind of hard to do, but you're just seeing which toes are able to feel the tennis ball fuzz and wrap around it. And then we start to roll out the whole foot. So just getting into it. Now I already can tell that this right foot feels way more grounded than my left foot since it's already been through that. But as I put this one down, now we rock side to side, come back into Tadasana. So this is all about body awareness. What's happening as our feet connect to the floor? Do you notice that you have any more sensations in your toes? And how do your feet feel? What about the fingers? We haven't done much with them in a while, so maybe give them some wiggles, show some spirit fingers. And I want you to stack your body just as we did before, thinking joint by joint. So coming into your mountain pose, close your eyes. Focus on the feet first. Always grow the roots down, just like a tree. And hopefully you feel a greater sense of grounding now than you did before we rolled out the feet. Again, take a breath in, fill up with air. I am. Exhale, send the breath to your feet, here and grounded. Inhale to the crown. Exhale to the feet. Inhale, bring the palms together in front of you. Eyes are still closed. Feel the fingertips touch. One fingertip at a time. Press the heels of the hands together. Take another inhale here. Press hands together fully. On your exhale, release your arms down. Send the breath to your feet. Inhale up to the crown of the head. And exhale back down to your feet. One more time. Inhale, palms come together and touch. Heel of the hand to the fingers. Inhale, press the palms together fully. And exhale, release the palms down. Once again, grow tall, lift the crown of the head. And exhale, let it go. So from here, we're going to move into a balancing posture. Now that we know how we can feel stable and secure and we've rolled out the feet, so come over to a wall space and you're going to start with your hands on the wall, and they can come up about eye height and a little bit wide, so like if you were doing a downward dog. And we're going to just see what feels comfortable here. So when you start to drop your head in between your arms, press your fingers again, feel all your fingertips pressing into the wall and the heel of your hand. And you will start to lower it down. This is called wall dog. So it's a way to do downward dog without being on the ground and without taking an inversion where your head is below your heart, because that can cause a little bit of dizziness or fatigue. You have the support. Now we're going to continue to walk the arms down and feet back a little so that we come into an L shape. And so I'm making, it almost looks like I have a square between me and the wall underneath me. And I'm again feeling the fingertips pressing into the wall, feeling my feet flat. Now I'm going to transfer the weight into this left foot and see how it feels to bring my right leg back. Now I might just bring it back a little. I may bring it back so that my heel kicks towards another wall, almost like it's parallel, toes are down. If that's the case, then you could just stay here and breathe. In through the nose and out through the nose. You may want to take the opposite arm behind you, play with some balance. Now, if you are in phase of the your cancer journey where you feel like you are able to build strength and you don't have too much dizziness, you might play with taking your hand off the wall a little. Maybe your palms come together in prayer. And then we'll bring the hands back slowly and your leg down. Now, you're probably feeling this in the glutes, hamstrings a little bit. So you can shake out the legs and we'll do the other side. Start with your wall dog. Walk the hands down. And then we'll start to transfer weight into the right foot. Feel the foot really rooted first because we want to feel grounded before we play with balance. Find something on the floor to focus on, and then you start to lift left leg. Maybe it hovers just a little bit. Maybe your toes just come up and down. Maybe you start to kick back. Maybe you kick through the heel and find more extension. If that's the case, you can start to play with taking one arm back. Again, pressing through that opposite arm, pressing through the fingertips. Maybe you start to bring the palms together, feeling some wobbles, totally normal. Focus on the breath, focus on a point on the ground, and breathe. Hands come back to the wall. Slowly bring the leg down. And then we'll start to come back up. Nice work. So back onto the mat. We're going to start to ease our way back down into our resting pose. And as you come down onto your back, I'm going to put the pillow underneath my head. Just ease your way. You can use your core to settle. And then we're going to bring the knees in, let them hover for a minute, and then kick your feet up towards the ceiling. And we're going to just play with the ankles and the toes a bit. Inhale, point the toes up. Exhale, flex them down. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Do that again, and then start to circle the feet around. So out to the sides, up, and then in. And we'll go both directions. So joint mobility is important as well. As we circulate energy through the joints, it can help to allow our nervous system to understand to bring sensations back online. And then we'll start to lower the legs back down, knees come in, and then walk your legs out for Shavasana. So take up a little space, arms and legs can come as wide as you want. And start to fully relax into this pose. We're going to go through a little body scan to bring awareness into the different parts of the body, especially the hands and feet. So starting down at your toes, you may wiggle them for a second. Feel your breath. Inhale, and then exhale, send it down to your toes. And then we'll inhale and send the breath down to the arches of your feet. Take a breath in. And then exhale, send the breath down to the heels of your feet. Inhaling and exhaling the breath down to the outer edges of the feet. And then we'll inhale and exhale. Send the breath down to your fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, send the breath to your palms. And we'll just continue to relax here. Noticing how the areas of your body that maybe are numb or maybe experience a little bit of pain normally, hopefully feel just a little bit better. Allow this practice to absorb through this resting pose. I invite you to lay here as long as you can. In fact, you could stay for easily 5 to 10 minutes longer. Perhaps even breathing into the areas of the body that you feel like you need it most. If you're ready to transition back into your day, wiggle your fingers. Feel them all. Wiggle the toes. Circle the wrists. And circle the ankles. And again, inhale. Maybe you reach your arms above the head, fingers to toes. Big reach, inhaling up. And exhale, send the breath to your feet. Start to draw your knees in. Remind yourself of your intention and thinking about what you want to bring into your day. We'll start to roll onto one side and just think about, as you do so, how you're feeling in this moment. Cradle your head with your arm, and then think about how you maybe feel a little different than the beginning of practice. And what's that one word that comes to mind? Know that if you don't feel better, that's okay too. And I invite you to try some other practices and see what resonates, but emotions do come up as we work through the difficulties in the body. And then as you place your palm down and press up, you start to transition back into your day, taking with you only what serves you. Thank you so much for joining me in this Yoga for Neuropathy class, and I look forward to seeing you in the rest of the series. Namaste.